because of what all hangs above you in the rafters when you play in the Smith Center. And so you're still going to get those teams' best shot, whether you got a ranked number beside your name or not. Pittsburgh's going to come in here because now they know you're vulnerable. Now we can go beat Carolina.
They're looking to save their tournament hopes as well, because they just got beat at home by Wake Forest. So they're going to be playing. I mean, look, they're still 10-4, but you got to think, if they get a win like that, that could be huge on their resume. Clemson's going to think the same way. They just beat NC State. They could look at that. Nobody that you see the rest of the way on your schedule is going to say, well,
yeah, no,
we'll let you come in and win.
It's, I mean, you don't intimidate anybody. Last year, Kobe White probably intimidated a lot of people. Marcus Page, Joel Berry, they intimidated guys because of their competitive nature. This team wouldn't even scare my grandma.
Oh,
so, and she didn't even watch basketball. And it's hard. It's as frustrated as I've been in my fandom. This is light years worse than 2010. And maybe it's because I have to write about it and podcast about it. I'm not gonna lie. I wrote my recap on HeelToughBlog.com, and anger came out of my hands onto my keyboard.
There were people that were honking at us as we were driving down 85, because I'm pretty sure there were a couple of times where you just started yelling some select words, and you yelled loud enough that they thought you were yelling at them. It wasn't the funnest ride home back from Chapel Hill, but it's part of it. I don't know how what it stacks up to with the 2010 season. If you want to dive into all the in-depth numbers and everything like that, I don't know if it's better or if it's worse. I don't really know. But what you said when you pointed it out after the game, we haven't lost to this team at home since 2010. Those are the types of comparisons that all of a sudden you're starting to look at and say, yeah, we're seeing some stuff that's very, very similar to 2010. And, here's the thing now. You're looking at the rest of the ACC schedule. At this point, I think there are still people that are trying to convince themselves that this team can get it together and be competitive in the ACC. At this point, you're kind of looking at I don't know if it's just me. Are you feeling that you're kind of looking at the schedule and saying, how do we get to enough wins to make the tournament?
The mindset I have right now, it's January 6th, is you got to get to 9-9 in ACC play. That's how you feel safe about getting in the tournament. You go 500 in league play, the committee will give you the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
We know that from past years where teams have gotten in with not a great resume. And Carolina's resume outside that Oregon win, we don't know how it's going to stack up come Selection Sunday. So you got to get to 9-9. And that's why I stress the crap out of beating Georgia Tech, beating Pittsburgh, and beating Clemson.
Well, you got to win the next two, right? There's no doubt in my mind that you got to win. The next two have to be victories.
Because then you're at 4-1. And you'll still probably, at the worst, probably split with State because Roy Williams owns NC State. You could probably go get Virginia Tech. You could probably get maybe Florida State.
You should beat Boston College. You should beat Wake Forest. Yeah. Both of those should be wins.
The Duke games, even though Carolina isn't great, they're still going to be a rivalry.
Yep.
2010 team played them tough at home that year.
Florida State's also intriguing because they have had moments where they've looked good and they've had moments where they have really struggled this year. So, that's the thing is that most of the teams, what teams in the ACC right now do you feel overly confident about that they're playing really good basketball and are only going to get better as they go towards March? I would say Louisville.
You're not beating Louisville.
And Duke.
And you're not going to beat Virginia at home.
Oh, and Virginia, even though I'm not as confident in Virginia, that's the biggest issue is that you have to go there. Other than that,
no, Virginia's at home. But
What am I? It's at home.
You're not going to win at Louisville.
I'm not. I'm not.
You're not going to win in Cameron Indoor. Maybe you get them in the Smith Center.
And
you're not beating Virginia at home because you can't beat Virginia.
But who else out of the rest of the conference do you believe right now is a
There's
surefire team. That's what I'm saying.
There's not one.
There is enough parity where if you were to buy in and get it together, and you have, look, you've got a 5-star point guard that's coming back at some point if you're in a good enough position. And everybody's saying, well, he's saying that he's coming back. He's still on the bench cheering on his teammates. That's fine. But if he is getting ready to come back and this team is below 500, what is the point of him coming back?
He's going to play because his numbers didn't look great when he got hurt.
I'm going to be honest. If they're below 500, I don't see him.
He's going to play.
I don't see him playing
because
I just don't see it.
Because if he comes back and Carolina gets on a run, and it's because he comes back and rights the ship, and he turns back into the guy that we saw glimpses of in Notre Dame game, and this team gets hot, and you get the team into March, and you make it to the second weekend, and who knows beyond there, then his draft stock is solidified. And he enjoys playing basketball.
I believe that too.
Because if he gets hurt again, he doesn't need the NBA. He's got money for the rest of his life. So
I think he wants to be in the NBA.
He's going to play because I don't think he would have committed. I mean, look, Zion Williamson came back and played last year and had no reason to. If he would have said I ain't coming back, nobody would have complained because he'd already proven he could play basketball at a high level.
Are we going to compare these two teams, though? Do you really think they had a chance to win a national championship last year? They should have done better than they actually did.
It's just a precedent. You don't get.
I mean, if they're under 500, I think he stays and just like he'll be. Look, he's not going to be a guy that's going to say, okay, I'm done, and I'm not going to be with the team or anything. He'll be with the team, but if this team is under 500, I would not be shocked when he has a chance to come back. If he says, look, I can't risk any further injury.
You would expect Roy Williams to tell him you need to remove yourself from the program.
Yeah, could happen.
That's not how things get done here. If you're healthy, you're going to play.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see.
And then I got one last thing before I get out of here. Heard a comment and seen some stuff on social media that Tar Heel fans are, quote, ready for football season. How dare you? One down year. And this, I mean, dude, 8-6, and dude, they're still. NC State would some years heal to be 8-6 with the kind of schedule Carolina's played and all the injuries. But we and look, I know I just lost my mind for 30 minutes. But you lose a game at home that you shouldn't lose, and well, I'm just ready for football season. And that's where we're at as a fan base. We couldn't even fill the arena up Saturday night. That was discouraging. I thought the fan base did a really good job staying engaged in the game after being down 27-4 because there was just a sigh of relief when that first basket went in. Well, that's all we were hoping for. But for all you that are ready for football season, then go get ready for football season. But I don't want to see you on social media if this thing gets righted. Well, I was here all along and I believed. Because I will have no problem pulling it up on social media and telling you that on this day at this time you were done. Roy Williams was toast. It's time to go in a different direction and yada yada yada. So just if you want to get ready for football season, that's fine. And look, I'm excited for 2020 Carolina football too.
Yeah, I love the excitement, but no.
Let's remember what comes first here, and that's basketball. That's Roy Williams, and that's that program. There's a very good chance this thing can get righted because the man that's leading this thing, the visible frustration displayed Saturday night, while it was concerning, it's also encouraging because you can't question his commitment and his care to putting a quality product on the floor and winning the way that we're supposed to. So that's it. Look, I had to get on here and get all this out. I've had it bottled up now for almost 48 hours. It had to be let out. Anthony, I hope you enjoyed your first time in the Smith Center. It was
a good trip.
We'll be back. Hopefully it'll be to see them in a winning manner, not in a losing manner. But that is going to wrap it up for this edition of the Roy's Boys podcast. It's been a hard one. If you made it through, congratulations. You're one of the real ones out there.
Yeah, thanks for following us for, what is this, 98 episodes?
This episode 98, and this is the first time that I have literally came on here and I complained the whole time. Not after last year when they got their butts kicked at Michigan, not when they lost to Duke in the ACC tournament in a game that they kind of blew with some of the shots decisions, not when Auburn killed us in the Sweet 16 last year. No. But episode 98, it got me. And we'll come back in episode 99 when we get ready for Pittsburgh, and we'll be better for it as podcasters, as writers, as Carolina basketball fans.
Yeah, we're gonna go look at the film, make sure we can.
Yeah, make some adjustments, see what we can improve. So with that, before I let you go, got to talk about the HeelToughBlog.com. Look, we've got a lot of stuff on the website about the Georgia Tech loss. My recap is up. Anthony's analysis is up. I wrote an article putting Garrison Brooks' career game into perspective because it's one of the best performances we've ever seen from a Tar Heel inside the Smith Center. So check all that up. On the basketball front, football-wise, there's still some news coming out. Mac Brown's hired his new special teams coordinator. Chaz Surratt is coming back for his senior season to play at Carolina. We'll have all that great stuff up for you on the website. Also, Anthony did some looking at the guys that were in the All-American game this past Saturday. So go check all that great stuff out on HeelToughBlog.com. We do want to encourage you guys to become likes and subscribers to the website. Most of the way we get our content to you is through Facebook, but Facebook has got some restrictions on how much we can share. We have reached limits to where my account's shut down till March. Anthony's account shut down. So just start getting the habit of going to the website. Everything that we share on Facebook is on the website. All the podcasts, all the articles, all the great content that you're getting, whether it's on Twitter or Facebook, it's on the website. That's HeelToughBlog.com. As for you podcast listeners, do want to encourage you to subscribe to the podcast wherever you find us. We're on Spreaker, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcasts, you name it. You can find the Roy's Boys podcast. And while you're there, give us a like and give us a review. Review Anthony, and you can review me. Tell us how we can get better as host of this podcast. If you want to rip me a new one, I probably deserve it. Go ahead, give it to me. I'm encouraging to, so give us a like, give us a review. Most importantly, hit that subscribe button. That way it'll be in your feed every time we push out a new episode. So do want to thank you guys for listening to this edition of the Roy's Boys podcast. And as always, don't forget, go Tar Heels.